Hello again, everybody. I'm going to do a bit of a deeper episode today rather than one of my usual sort of tutorial videos. So today I would like to talk about ants, intelligence, and learning. So these shots that you're looking at, this is my second outworld. My second outworld is connected to my main outworld by a piece of pipe that is approximately a metre long. So the ants have to come out of the nest, cross the first outworld, which is a very obstructed outworld. If any, you can look back at pictures, go down through a hole into a pipe, walk a metre to come out into this second smaller outworld. And I don't give my ants a regular source of sugar because I find that feeding them, interacting with them at the sugar feed is the most fun interactions I have with the ants and allows me to watch them and study them. One thing I do though is I always feed them on this stone in this small outworld. When I feed them sugar, and I don't feed very much at a time, like I said, I don't give them a constant source or a big amount. I do give them bits of fruits that they're getting topped up, but I feed them little dots on a piece of greaseproof paper, but I will do it 2 or 3 times a day. Normally I judge how hungry they are, and you'll see how I'm doing this. But as you can see, there are always ants hanging around here, just waiting, just walking slowly. And I took these other shots here of a part of the first outworld. So this shot you're looking at is another stone in a corner of the other outworld that isn't as far to walk. And I'm just leaving this running. I know you're not seeing anything, and that is precisely my point. There are not even the odd random ant here. There will be. An ant will walk past here eventually if I leave it running for long enough. But back there at that stone, there are always ants sitting there waiting on patrol. And as soon as I put the sugar in there into that outworld, they are straight on it immediately. And loads of them are coming to drink, and it's getting shuttled back. So what could I say? Could I say that the ants have learnt that this is where the sugar's going to come in? Well, we pretty much know that that is not true. That an insect, an ant especially, does not have the ability to start to learn that this is where the sugar's going to come in. Like, let's say you would, and you'd go, oh yeah, I recognise this place or whatever. But what I can say is that the colony has learnt. And how has it done this is that they have pheromones which can last a week, maybe 2 weeks, that denote these trails to food, especially regular food sources like this. So because I keep putting the food in here, the pheromone trail that leads to this location is strong. And that means that when a worker decides to go out and forage, they are more likely to follow this trail. And when they don't find anything at the end of it, because the trail is so strong and so well ingrained, they will just sit around and wait, because evolution has programmed them to want to wait like this, because there might in the wild be regular food sources, a type of plant that regularly attracts aphid, a tree that regularly leaks its sap in a certain place, or something like that. So having the ability to learn, inverted commas, where a regular event is likely to happen is something that ants have evolved the ability to do. But then that brings me on to the next level of questioning, which is, has the colony actually learnt? Is it intelligent? Does it know what it's doing? Can we look at all these little ants running around and interacting with each other like neurons in a human brain, creating this greater hive mind? And that brings me to a thought experiment by a philosopher called John Searle, called The Chinese Room. And this is where somebody is locked in a room who doesn't speak Chinese. And in this room, there's a big book. And it tells you that there are 2 columns, and it's got column 1 equals and then column 2. And basically, there's one instruction that if anything in column 1, the answer to it is column 2. And then somebody outside pushes notes under the door all in Chinese. And these are questions. They could be questions about any topic, any subject. Okay. The person in the room doesn't understand the question. They can't read Chinese. All they do is they go to this book and they manually start searching down the first columns until they find the symbols that match the symbols on the piece of paper. And then they look up the equals and they see what symbols are there and they write down what those symbols are and push the note back under the door. To the person on the other side of the door, you appear to be communicating with someone who fluently understands Chinese, is a clever person who knows all the answers to the questions that you're asking. But in reality, you're communicating with a person that's just looking up in one column of the book and then putting down the answer from column 2 of the book. And that person in that room appears to be intelligent. But are they really? That is the question. And that's what, when we're talking about the ants here, learning where I'm going to put the food in, are they learning or are they just following the instructions in the book? Thank you for watching. Goodbye, everybody.